Hello and welcome to Sestra-Tainment.
Entertainment.
I'm Lenora
And I'm Dee.
and we're coming to you today in regards to everything entertainment. And so today, Sister is going to start first, and you can see we are doing this as a recording. So we are doing it a little bit different than we normally do. So just trying a few things out. And so, Sis, what do you have first?
Yes, bear with me because this is the first time that I'm going to have to be doing multiple things and paying attention to a camera. So bear with me. But the first thing that I do want to go over is A House of Dynamite, which is a really good movie that, well, let me say it's good, but then also the end pissed me off, but it's fine. But the whole movie itself was good. That is actually something that you can watch on Netflix. I'll go over the cast. So you have Idris Elba as the President of the United States. You have Rebecca Ferguson, who is Captain Olivia Walker. And she is head of some huge department that deals with, I would guess, foreign missiles coming towards the United States, because that's what this movie is about. You also have Gabrielle Basso, who is the Deputy National Secretary. You have Jared Harris, who is the Secretary of Defense. Let me see. You have Tracy Letts, who is the General Anthony Brady, who is just somebody who is just on the has his little 2 cents, but about everything that's going on. You have Anthony Ramos, who is Major Daniel Gonzalez. Now with him, he is running the area of the military that deals with, I guess it would be the shooting off missiles to stop, like intercept any other missiles that are coming into the United States, or any kind of, what would that be? Like the nuclear war that could possibly happen. So what it is you have all of these different people, all these different places, departments, whatever, and they are literally trying to figure out where this one missile that's just coming across the Pacific Ocean is coming from. Now, when this happens, everybody's thinking, oh, this is just, it's like just an exercise. It's just something that they're trying to do. No, actually it's not. They are literally trying to blow up the United States, and they don't know who the missile came from, or the whatever this bomb is that came from. No clue. So now what they're trying to do is trying to take other missiles that are somewhere in like Montana or something like that from the United States soil to shoot up to intercept this missile, and then it doesn't work. So now it's like frantic. Then, so you got the bunker, or whatever that area would be called with the United States military. You have them on there. And then it goes to rewind. Now we're at the Secretary of Defense, and going from his point of view and everything that he's dealing with as he's hearing all the information. And the whole time you don't see the president, but you can hear him talking because they're trying to get him all set up. He had some other things that he was going to do. Like he was going to some kind of like kids basketball thing with Angel Reese. So I thought that was kind of cool how they actually incorporate like somebody new. But while he's there, they're still trying to get him all set up with the satellite phone, a whole bunch of other stuff. And with all of that happening, it causes a lot of miscommunication, because now you have these people who are in, like, I don't even know what that department would be called, where it's like they have like the big screens, and then they're just communicating with the military as well as the government officials about things that they're seeing. Like, okay, yeah, we see the submarine. Why is the submarine disappeared? We're trying to find this. We're trying to do that. So whatever this department is called, like the National Defense Department or something like that, they are trying to communicate back and forth, and that ends up being one whole thing, because now they're coming to find out where this nuclear bomb, this missile, everything is going to land, and it's going to land in Chicago and wipe out Chicago. When I say wipe out Chicago, it is like 100% sure that all of Chicago is going to be gone. And the blast radius could go as far as DC. They don't know for sure. So it's just so many variables that could happen with this one missile. Now, so you have all of these different people talking about what they can do to try to stop it. So it's basically everybody who is ahead of defending the United States is now on this one Zoom call, and they're all just trying to figure out what would be the best possible opportunity. And a lot of them are just like, I mean, it's 10,000 people, like 10, I mean, no, not 10,000. It's like 10 million people. 10 million people would be a lot better than, you know, if it was to hit New York, and then that would be 20 million people or blah, 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 blah. So, but they're trying to figure out the way to get it done efficiently and make sure that the people will be as safe as possible. Now, some of the people are like, we need to reach out to some of the people in Chicago and see if they can leave. But is there enough time? Like, you watch the movie go from DEFCON 5 all the way up to DEFCON 1. And if you know anything about that, that means like DEFCON 5 is like, we're good. No nuclear bombs or anything is happening. DEFCON 1 is, hey, we're about to have impact. So that's what happens on that movie. Now, the one thing that made me upset about it was that at the end, there's like, you can see how they pick the who's who to go certain places, to go into the bunker, opposed to anybody else. Like,
everybody doesn't get that same privilege.
Yeah, everybody doesn't get that same privilege. But I mean, yes, it is a lot of government officials, but then also it's like some of these people are probably just people with money. They just are able to live after we have this whole nuclear thing that happens. So that actually could possibly happen, because there is multiple times that they are trying to figure out what is going to be the best possible outcome. But all in all, I mean, it's a heart racing movie because, like, well, maybe just for me, I felt like I was there getting anxious, like, okay, all right, what is the answer going to be? And then it flips backwards 2 hours to like right before like they find the missile, and it's like, oh. And it was another movie that I watched that was like that called Point of View. It was like you would see it from one point of view and then would rewind, and then you see it from somebody else's point of view, rewind. So this is a movie like that. But the only difference is with this one, I don't necessarily care that they're going back and forth, because this one's more interesting because you're hearing the president, you're hearing him all fumble around with everything. You're hearing like this kind of noise and you're trying to figure out exactly what it is. And then once you actually see it on the screen, then you're like, oh, okay, yeah, he was fumbling around with some paperwork, or, you know, he was fumbling around with this. So it's deep. It actually makes you think of like, is the United States safe? Can the United States ever be safe? You know, right. And the people that we have in power, are they going to actually think about the people that are in the United States, like the whole, every, you know, citizen, or are they going to think about just the main people that they want to save, for who they can save or who they are willing to save? Right. But it's deep. It's deep. It's very, very deep. But like I said, it's called A House of Dynamite. It is on Netflix. Thought it was pretty good. It is very suspenseful. Very, very suspenseful. So check it out.
I watched it too. And it was definitely suspenseful. And I did like the different points of view, because you're right. You're like, why was the president distracted? And then you end up seeing it from the president's point of view. And you're like, oh, now I know why he was distracted. And, you know, oh, what's going on over here? Oh, now I can see why this is actually happening. So, it was, and giving you information too about what you can and can't share when you even have family that might be in Chicago. You know?
Exactly.
So, can you let them know? Can you give them a heads up, or do you have to just, give them a call and say goodbye, and they don't even know what you're saying goodbye to?
Exactly. Like it's like some of them are in the defense room, the one that I told you about, where it was like the middleman between the military and the big officials, and like one girl was like, oh, can I go and get my phone? It was like, you know that this is not part of the job. You cannot go and get your phone. We are in here, we're not distracted. So it's like whatever,
they put them like in a lockbox or something.
So it's like whatever you are feeling and seeing in here it doesn't matter about anybody else in the world. Your job is this right here. Your job is not to talk to your family about what's going on. You were like literally you were at work. You don't have to come. Yeah, it's but that's all I had. And sis, what you have?
All right, so I have The Rip on Netflix.
Rip, yeah.
Have you watched that?
I watched that yesterday.
Okay, yeah. So that's what I had. You're thinking about it like which day it was. One of these days. So so I have The Rip on Netflix. So I'll go through the cast. So the cast is Matt Damon, who is Lieutenant Dane Dumars. You have Ben Affleck, who is Detective Sergeant J.D. Byrne. You have Kevin Young. And you probably know, Stephen Young, and you know him from The Walking Dead. So he was Glenn in The Walking Dead for anybody who watched that. And he's Detective Mike Rowe. You have Tiana Taylor. She's Detective Numa Baptiste. You have Catalina Sandino Moreno, who is Detective Lola Salazar. And you have Sasha Kale, who is Desiree or Desi Lopez Molina. And then you have Kyle Chandler, who played in like Friday Night Lights. And he is the person, who is he? DEA agent Mateo Matty Nix. So I think those are like the main people to talk through, right? And so based on that, what ends up happening is it's really about a group of agents, right? And so what they are is they are the people who will go in whenever there's a situation that is happening. And a lot of times it's like drug enforcement, right? And so you hear that there's something that's going on in which people have been stealing. Like it's the rip. So the rip is where somebody is taking something from the scene and stealing it. And so when that happens, the investigators, or I guess the agents, are seen to be dirty because they are stealing from, like, oh, it was a $20 million heist, but then it ends up being that only $10 million makes it. Well, where's the rest of the money go? And then they're trying to figure out, are there some dirty cops out there? So from the very beginning, there's conversation about there are dirty cops and there are cops that are taking the rip. And so based on that, what is actually happening with this group when they go to an event? So you have Matt Damon's character who's like, hey, we have to go to this particular house. And it's like at the end of the day, it's a Friday. Everybody is like, are we getting overtime? He's like, no. And they're basically trying to get out of it, really. Some of the people are. And then they're like, okay, let's just go ahead and do this last job of the day. And of course, whenever you watch a movie and it's the last job of the day, you know something dramatic is going to happen. Like that just seems to be the norm, right? And so what basically ends up happening is they end up going to this house, and there's a girl there, and that's Desi. And so she answers the door and they're like, hey, we got a, notice or something like that to say that there is something here. And she's like, no, nobody's here. It's just me. No, nobody, there's no drugs, there's no money, there's no anything, but they can go in. I guess they have the warrant and everything, and they can go in and they can search. Well, the whole purpose of this show, and this is probably in the first 20 minutes or movie, but the whole purpose is that they get there, and lo and behold, the house that they thought was going to be somewhere between maybe $75,000 to $150,000 worth of money in there, they end up finding, what was it, 20 or $22 million? It was something.
20,628.5 or something like that. Yeah, I tried to remember the number. I tried to remember the number at the end because like that was part of it.
Okay, so that amount of money. So based on that amount of money that she mentioned, they are like, whoa, we got to call this in. Like, we have to call this in. And Matt Damon's character is like, hold on a minute. Let's think through this for a second. Like, let me figure some things out. And it becomes this whole movie about Why wouldn't you call this in? Why wouldn't, like, if we're not calling this in, what are we doing, right? We're not following protocol. Are you dirty? Are you talking to other people who might be dirty that are a part of this whole crew? What's going on in the neighborhood? Are there other people who potentially are involved in this? Why, like, everybody is almost like turning on everybody else because you don't know who's dirty and who's not. And when you have over $20 million at stake, stuff hits the fan.
Yeah.
That's the easiest way to describe it. So stuff hits the fan. And so this entire movie is really based on the premise of, look, we went into this job expecting to find at the most 150,000. We're here with 20 million. People are like, look, I got bills to pay. I got kids going through a divorce. I need money to help pay for that. I have this going on and that going on. And you're just like, are they going to steal it?
Yeah, because somebody was like, it would just be easier for us to just go ahead and take the money home. And then there was like,
like,
why'd you say that?
And then and whose curiosity is that going to pique? Right? Are there certain people where it's going to pique their curiosity and they're going to be like, yeah, maybe we should. And somebody else who's going to be like, oh, no, absolutely not. We have to be on the up and up, people. Like, what is wrong? Like, what are we doing here? What are y'all talking about? You know, so it's a whole movie about that, and it's not even about the bad guys. Like, that's the funny thing. Like, you look at this and you see them with all their armor on and all their vests and all their guns and all this, and you're thinking this is about them against bad guys. And there's one point in the movie where there is like this shootout and you're just like, okay, did you call your people? Like, as a cop, did you call your bad guys to come and attack us? Or is that truly the bad guys just doing that on their own? Like, what's going on here? So it's all internal. It's like this internal tug of war of good versus bad. Are we dirty? Are we clean? And if somebody is dirty, how do we figure that out? And how deep does this go if somebody is dirty, you know? So that was what I kind of liked about it, is that it was, I didn't pick up. Did you pick up on who was the dirty? I picked up on one of the people that I thought was dirty, but I didn't pick up the other. Without giving anything away.
No, not really. No, I don't think I picked up on anything. I was just kind of like, because as the movie goes on, it's one way, and then it flips to another way. So it's like, I wasn't really paying attention. I was just like, okay, this is just,
you just watched
I just watched it and I wasn't really thinking about it. I was just thinking like, wow, why would he do that? But I wasn't invested. To me, I wasn't as invested in it, because to me, it was like, I just watched His and Hers. So nothing's going to top that.
His and Hers was definitely.
Nothing's going to top His and Hers. So now I'm just watching movies just for entertainment. I'm not trying to solve the puzzle. You know? I'm just here.
That is too funny. Well, and to go to His and Hers for just a quick moment, do you know that your mother, well, our mother, posted something on Facebook to say, hey, if y'all haven't watched it, y'all might want to watch His and Hers.
Okay, I thought you were gonna be like, she posted it and she told all.
No. She didn't give anything away, but she literally was like, because I was scrolling through Facebook and then I was like, oh, here's somebody talking about watching His and Hers. And then I looked at the name and I was like, Mom?
Yeah.
Mom,
I talked to Mom about it. Like, I talked to Mom and I was like, you know, Mom, watching His and Hers, and she called me back. She was like, so look, I watched it, blah, 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 blah. And then she was telling me about cousin Alice, who read the book. And now she's like, oh, I think I might want to read the book. And I was like, good, that will keep your attention. Yeah.
Yeah. Then she told me after that, she was like, oh, then I've heard the book isn't really like the movie, like they wrote it differently. And she was like, I read a couple of excerpts from it on Amazon. And I was like, no, I don't know what that is. I don't want to read it. So I don't think she's going to read it. But yeah, but I was just surprised. So, you know, if it's a show that caught her attention.
Yeah.
And your attention, my attention, Terry's attention, like, yeah, that's definitely a good show to watch. So I think a lot of people would appreciate watching that. And knowing that all her fault falls into that same category. Exactly. Yeah. So, and I think in that regard, I was telling somebody that in my opinion, all her fault actually has more twists and turns, in my opinion, at the very end than hers.
Yes and no.
Because all her fault, it's not as suspenseful of trying to figure out, but at the same time, it is, wait, what's going on? Because there was one thing with an accident, one thing with a doctor, one thing with it's like this thing, that thing, this thing, that thing.
It was confusion.
And it was like all these different things. And you're just like, oh. So it was like 5 things versus just 1 or 2.
All her fault was, all right. So like the difference between the 3, all her fault, his and hers, and the rip. So all her fault was, and the rip were so similar in the way that you're kind of going into it blind.
Yeah.
You're going through the motions you're going through the motions like the characters are going through the motions.
Yeah.
Where and it's not really it's a detective like part into it, but it's more of a detective police part into it than where his and hers is from a reporter standpoint and like seeing it.
Well, it's detective too, because
the detective too, but then it brings in the detective in a different way where it's not just where all her fault is the detective is talking about everything that's happening.
Okay.
His and hers, the detective is in it.
Yeah.
And then the rip, the rip is we're trying to figure it out like all together. Yeah. So it's like, that's where I see.
I think all of them were pretty good, but the rip would be third. Trust me.
It's not the rip first or
second by any stretch of the imagination. But I did enjoy it. It was entertaining. So. But but that's it for the rip. It's not really much I can share because I will give too much away because of the fact that it does have some twists and turns and some things that kind of happen. But definitely it's one of those where you feel like something could pop off at any minute and you're just like, is something going to happen? Oh, good. Nothing happened. Oh, is something going to happen? Oh, yeah, something did happen. So that's kind of how it is for that one. But I personally enjoyed it. So, but that's The Rip, and that is on Netflix. And it's the only time you've seen Matt Damon and Ben Affleck together since Good Will Hunting.
Oh, wow. Okay. Yeah.
So there you go. So, all right. So what you got next, sis?
Okay. Mine that I have is One Battle After Another. I said one thing.
Okay. I've heard of this, but I know nothing about what it's about.
All right. This is a 4-hour long movie. Not really 4 hours. It's 2 hours and like 41 minutes. But it is a good movie. So I'll go over the cast. We got Leonardo DiCaprio, who plays Bob / Rocket Man / Ghetto Pat. We have Sean Penn, who I almost didn't recognize him for. I mean, like I noticed him, but then I was like, why does he look familiar? But yeah, he's in this. And he is Colonel Stephen J. Lockjaw.
Okay, that's the name.
Yeah. And then what I also like about this is you got Benicio del Toro in it playing Sensei Sergio St. Carlos. But at one point in time, I thought it was like it went from seeing, because I've always thought that Benicio del Toro and
Brad Pitt.
And Leonardo DiCaprio, I thought that them two kind of favor each other.
Oh, no, I think it's him and Brad Pitt.
100%. I mean, yeah, definitely him and Brad Pitt, but I mean, like for a movie purpose,
okay. I
could see that. But yeah, that's what I originally thought, but that's not what happens. Then you have Tiana Taylor, who plays Perfidita. You have Regina Hall, who plays Deandra, which she plays a serious role. She's not in it a lot, but she is in it. And when she's in it, the camera's just on her reactions, everything that she's saying. It's not like she's talking with groups of people. You have Wood Harris, who plays Loretto.
Okay.
You have Alana Haim, who plays Mae West, and you would know her. I think she was on like that movie Licorice Pizza or something like that won a whole bunch of awards like maybe 2 years ago. But she was the lead on that. And then you have some other people with some names I cannot speak because we are, PG, at least PG-13 here.
Okay.
So that's basically the cast. But it starts off with this revolutionary group called the French 75. Now, they are helping people to escape from detention centers. And the people who are holding them in these detention centers are the U.S. government. So it's like the Army, the Navy, all of these people who are holding these people in the detention center in California. So the revolutionary group French 75 has the Tiana Taylor Perfetta character, also Ghetto Pat, Rocket Man, aka Bob. He is also in it. Now he is the bombsman. Leonardo DiCaprio's character is the bombsman, so he's good at making bombs, blowing stuff up. That is his all-time favorite thing. Now, Perfetta, who is Tiana Taylor's character, she is, I don't even care. Like, I'll give me a missile launcher, I'll use it. Give me the AK, I'll use it. Give me the gun, I'll use it. We are making a stand. Like, I'll be the voice. I'll call people and tell them what's going on. That's how it is. So they end up, once they are releasing people from detention centers, then the next step is, okay, now we have to let the government know, hey, you have been doing this and wrongfully treating our people. So now what we're going to have to do is we're going to have to bomb some of these big wig offices. Like it's the middle of the night, ain't nobody there. Should nobody be there at 2:00 in the morning, 3:00 in the morning. So she's the one on the phone leaving voicemails, being like, this is what's happening, and this is for women's rights, this is for human rights, things like that, as she's talking about why these buildings are being destroyed, or not even the buildings, but even like why these offices are being destroyed. And she said, sincerely Perfetta Beverly Hills. That is her code name or whatever for the French 75. Now, some things happen, and then they have to be on the run. So now, while they're getting ready to be on the run, Perfetta has a baby, and that baby is like, she has postpartum depression. So she doesn't feel loved by Bob, Ghetto Pat, whatever you want to call him. She doesn't feel loved by him. She feels like, she's like, he just sits here like that's his only girl, and I'm nothing. Like, I'm just here to milk his kid, but it's like, everything has changed. I'm not even a person anymore. Now I'm a mother, and how has everything changed just because I've had a child? Like, no, I don't have the respect that I used to. So she was going downhill with that, and he just felt helpless because he was like, there's nothing that he can do in order to fix the situation of how she's feeling. So she dips, and she leaves him with the baby. He has the baby. They have to be on the run. Now they're on the run. Fast forward, it goes into 16 years later, and that baby is now a teenager. And Ghetto Pat, aka Bob, is now, let's say, not the best father in the way of maturity, because he drinks a lot and smokes a lot of weed. And I don't know if he partakes in other drugs, but he's just kind of, he's dealing with the grief of losing the woman that he loves, losing her because she's gone. She's not with them. It's just him and his daughter. And then he has nobody else with him. They're in this like a revolutionary witness protection program where they're in the middle of nowhere, and they have nobody. Like, Bob has nobody that he talks to. Like, he's so paranoid because he just knows that everything that he did in his past is going to come back to bite him in the butt. So with that happening, it is Colonel Lockjaw, who now is like, I know that they had a baby, and I want to find that baby. And I want to find this guy. So now he's going around, and he is still in the military. He's asking people over top of him, hey, I need you to make sure that I can go to this area. So Like make up a reason why I can go to this area. Once they go to that area, then it's like, okay, we're supposed to be looking for heroin in this place, but actually I need a whole different group to come with me up here because we have two people that we need to find, a teenage juvenile and, a juvenile female and a, older male, and, gives all the information about him, but he wants the father dead and the daughter apprehended. So why is all of this happening? Why is he's just so bent on making sure that he finds this girl? Because there's something going on with this girl. It's like this girl reminds him so much of Profeta, her mother. And her mother was the main one who was the face of the Revolutionary 75. So therefore, it's like, is she going to be like that? Like how? Like I want to find her. I want to see what's going on with her, how everything is with her, and there's more into that as well. So the whole rest of the movie, 40 minutes is they're blowing up stuff. 2 hours is them running, basically. Them running. Bob being paranoid, and he's already paranoid, and then he's smoking weed, so then that way he makes him more paranoid. But he can't remember some of the code names that he was supposed to remember, like, because with this, they are literally using like ham radios. They are using CB radios or whatever you want to call them. They're using different verbiage. So it's like one of the things is he had to tell one of the guys, in order to get more information where he needed to go to, he had to tell the guy what time it is. And he was like, I don't remember what time it is. I don't remember all that saying. He was like, I've been drinking, I've been doing drugs, and haven't been responsible. And I forgot all that stuff. I fried my brain. Just tell me where my daughter is. So then that way I can go ahead and meet up with her. It's like, yeah, no, because you're supposed to remember all this stuff. This is very detriment to you being alive and you being able to keep your child alive. So you're supposed to have this information, because how are we supposed to know that you are you if you don't give us the information that we actually know? How do we not know that you're not going to be a rat and that you're just out here just giving out some information, but you're also telling the man all this other information? So it is another anxious movie. But then I did have a lot of comical moments of following Bob around as Bob is trying to get to his daughter. Bob is not all put together. Bob's running around with his robe on, and like he's like pajama pants and a t-shirt and his robe and like some big bulky looking shoes that he's running around with, trying to be able to get to where he's going to. He just can't get anything together. He's trying his hardest, but he's just like, yeah, I need to charge this phone. And it's like, okay, yeah, we'll charge it upstairs once we get into this area. And then as soon as they get upstairs, he's looking for an outlet. It's like, no, man, we're not going here. We're going back over this way. He's like, okay. So we go to another room. He's trying to outlet. Hey, man, we're going further to the back. He was like, I just need to charge the phone. It's like, okay, we're going to charge the phone once we get to this area. So wait till we get to this area. It's just, it ends up being very, very good movie. It does kind of leave some things open where you can't really get full closure, but you do get some closure. Like there is a couple of questions that are unanswered, but you still get the information of Lockjaw, Bob, the daughter Willa, and the other revolutionary, Deandra. And so you get that information about them, but there are some bits and pieces that you're not going to fully get. But for a movie as long as Titanic, I think that it kept my attention. It did keep my attention.
So it's not painful to watch.
It's not painful to watch. I mean, some parts of it are painful because it was quite a few times that I got mad at Bob, to the point where I went from being mad at Bob to just laughing at Bob, because Bob is just, it's like, to me, I'm thinking, why didn't you study this stuff? Like, if you knew that you were hiding from somebody who can possibly come after you, why aren't you going over these things constantly in your head? on survival mode. You've gotten stagnant, and now you just don't think anything's going to happen, but you force it in your daughter's head that this is going to happen at any point in time. This will happen at any point in time. You need to know this. So now your daughter knows it. And then when it comes down to it, you don't even know it yourself. What an example. So, yeah, but that one was good. That one is actually on Max, HBO Max. So, like I said, if you have the time, sit down and watch it. I mean, it's been snowy and icy. So you get the time to sit down and watch it.
On the East Coast.
Yeah, at least on the East Coast. But yeah, sit down and watch it. It's definitely a decent movie. Very good cast. And yeah, I was definitely here for it. Yeah.
Yeah. Wow. Okay. So 2 things with Tiana right now.
Oh, exactly. So what do you have next?
Right. So I have the movie Him.
I haven't watched it yet.
Okay. So I have the movie Him. And so based on Him, I will go through the cast first and foremost. So the cast for this includes, so we have Marlon Wayans, who is in the cast. And actually, let me go ahead and pull it up based on their title. So he plays Isaiah White. You have Tyreek Withers, who plays Cameron. So he's like, I guess if you think about it, he is the new rookie quarterback that's coming to play football. And so he is going to replace Isaiah or Marlon Wayans' character, even though I still was trying to mentally put together that Marlon Wayans was a football player, which is kind of funny. So you have Cam. You have Julia Fox, who plays Elsie. You have Tim Heidecker, who plays Tom. You have, you just have a bunch of different people in here, but the main 2 people truly are Marlon Wayans playing Isaiah and Tyreek playing Cam. And so really the way that the story goes is that, all right, so it's weird. First and foremost, it is a weird show, a weird movie. I think that this is why it didn't get a lot of acclaim. Jordan Peele was responsible for this one. And I feel like a lot of people were so into Get Out and then Us, and you had Nope. And Nope kind of didn't get the same acclaim as, some of the other ones. But this, just tanked, I think, in my opinion. So, but what it was just about football publicity, almost like an Illuminati type of thing, but not specifically saying that. But for the most part, what it is it's about a young guy. He's getting drafted into the NFL. He realizes he's going to play for a particular team. I think it's San Diego. And so then you have that Isaiah is the current player for San Diego, and he's getting ready to announce his retirement. So it's kind of perfect timing that Cam's going to come in while Isaiah is leaving. So Cam gets invited to Isaiah's home to go through almost like a combine / boot camp to learn everything there is to learn about being an NFL player. And in the process of that, it is a interesting situation. So first, before he even gets there, you have the whole scenario of him getting selected to be in the NFL. And then it's like all of the glitz and glamour and drugs and women and all those things that come with that. So there's like this one scene where it's like he goes from, oh yeah, I'm going to go ahead and agree and we'll sign. And then the next thing you know, he's dancing on a dance floor. He's drinking a lot of drinks. There's drugs everywhere. Like all these things are happening. And it's almost like an Eyes Wide Shut type situation. And you're just like, wow, like this is what rich people do. Or they're trying to make it seem that way, that this is what rich people do when they have a certain scenario that pops up in people who are in this elite class, so to speak. Then what ends up happening, he goes to Isaiah's house, and Isaiah, is mysterious. he's welcoming. He's like, oh man, it's so good to meet you. Like, we're going to go ahead and get you trained and started, and you're going to learn all of the ropes of everything that, you know, you're going to need to do to be successful. And you're thinking that, you know, oh, this is great that somebody is not feeling threatened by me, right? But then you start picking up on some things and you start realizing that there's some interesting ways in which he trains. And one of them, for example, that stood out to me and made me like, ugh, I don't even know if I can look at this screen, is that if Isaiah makes a mistake, he had all of these guys like in his house, he literally had a football field where you could throw. It was indoors. And so you could throw the ball and somebody would go down and catch it. And you throw the ball and somebody would run down and catch it, right? And so if the Cam made a mistake, Isaiah was like, who's going to be the person who is going to basically get punished if Cam makes a mistake? And you weren't putting that together when he first asked the question. But this guy is like, hey, I'll do it. I'll be that person. Thanks, coach. Like, I'm going to do that. Right. So he, I guess, sacrifices himself as tribute. I don't know what it is, but he's like, I'm going to be that person. So when Cam throws and he messes up or his person doesn't catch, there is this scene where, let's just say a football goes to a person's face. And that is the punishment. So Cam is like, yo, man, what's going on? Like, why are they why is a football hitting this guy in the face? And it's like, you make a mistake, that's critical. So how are we going to get you laser focused other than you knowing that there's a dire consequence on the other side of your mistake? And so anytime, and then he gets in his head a little bit, which makes him may have more mistakes. And this person just starts getting pummeled to the point that, like I said, I could barely look at the TV because what is your facial expression?
Because it's just horrible. It's like, oh yeah, because of your mistakes, now this guy's going to be beat within 2 inches of his life.
And that's the thing, right? So, but that person volunteered. That person volunteered themselves. And
yeah, but they didn't know that they were going to do that, though, right?
No, I think he did.
Oh,
I think he did. So it's like a weird, almost cult-like following of people who are like, Cam, anything for you. I mean, no, Isaiah, anything for you, Isaiah, whatever you need me to do, Isaiah. Yes, I'll volunteer myself, Isaiah. Like, and you're just like, who are these people and why are they so into whatever he says, like he is their God because he's a quarterback on a football team? And then you have a scenario of when Cam was even trying to arrive there were these people who were outdoors and they were screaming at the car and they were going up to the window and they were screaming at him like, we don't want you. We love Isaiah. We don't want you. And it's like these people who are just out in this desert near Isaiah's house that are just like fans or cults of people or something. I don't know. It was very, very weird. But
are they big on the team, but not big on him being on the team?
They are big on Isaiah. They could care less, I think, about the team. It was more, we love this quarterback. It's almost like people who were like, I don't care where Tom Brady goes. I'm following Tom Brady. I don't care where LeBron James goes. I'm following LeBron James. It's not about the team. It's about the player, Mm-hmm. And so that's the way that I picked up on it personally while watching this movie. And so then there becomes this whole thing of them basically trying to get Cam to kind of, for lack of a better way of saying it, sell his soul, like, what are you willing to do? What are you willing to give up? What are you willing to sacrifice in order for you to get this contract, in order for you to be able to be the top of the top of the top? And we'll get you there, but you got to give us something, and whether or not he takes them up on that deal. Is what the whole movie is about. And what I will say is that at one point in the movie, it's just like a bloodbath. It's like Kill Bill or something. It's just weird. But like, it's a lot of blood.
It turns into a Tarantino film.
It kind of does. And I'm just like, wow, okay. But then you leave it and then it's like over and you're just like, okay, but what did I watch? What does this mean? Like, what's the purpose? And I honestly didn't even care enough because, sometimes I'll watch things like, for example, the movie or even the TV series with like Lovecraft Country, right? And it was like, it was weird and it has these weird things, all these eyes, and it's this and it's that, and it's magical.
It was sci-fi.
It was sci-fi, it was magical, it was going into space, but it was turning into a white woman, and it was this and it was that. It was a lot of things. And it made me want to like research further on YouTube. This did not make me want to do that. This was just more like, oh, okay, that was a weird movie. And I wasn't invested enough to then want to research and find out more about the symbolism of it all. So I have no idea. I probably should have, just for the sake of the podcast.
I think the symbolism was just supposed to be of like how people will do anything for whoever's on top.
Right.
So and that's the thing. Have the clout or whatever.
Right. And it was almost like when you go through this ceremony to become the person on top, physically, Isaiah went through a ceremony to become the person on top. And when he went through that ceremony, the person he was replacing lost their power.
Oh, so it was like Illuminati.
That's why I said it had that Illuminati kind of feel to it. Yeah. Like as they didn't say it in that way, but it was like that. And then it's like, okay, so as they're about to or talking about, crowning Cam, because Cam was like his wife, Isaiah's wife, which is weird, but Isaiah's wife took Cam, the new guy, to this crowning ceremony, right? And so basically Isaiah was like, nah, I'm good. I'm going to stay here. But I think it was because he knew, why would I go and witness that? I know what that means for me. So I'm just going to stay here. I'm going to pump iron. I'm going to be in the gym. I'm going to be like trying to keep my power. I'm going to try to keep my strength, like that's what I was picking up on, the symbolism of it. But then, Cam is there and ready to, sacrifice potentially or sign on the line or whatever it is. And so it's an interesting, weird movie that, as you would say, see it or not, see it or not.
That's what I was saying. I was like, I saw the previews for it and I was like, it probably is a really good movie, but I don't know if I would want to watch it.
Yeah.
I don't know. I would have to be in a right mental place in order to watch it or something like that. Yeah.
I don't even think it gets that deep into the mental, honestly, but I think Marlon Wayans does a really good job of playing a serious role and like a in your face screaming, yelling, like you ain't nothing, you're never gonna be nothing, blah 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 kind of thing, but to get into that guy's psyche, you know what I mean? So I think he did a good job with that. I don't know enough about this new actor to know who he is. I just never seen him in anything before that I can recall. But he held his own, I think that he was believable in that character. And so, but the whole wife and her being a little weird and eccentric. And as I was watching it, I was like, all I could think of was what Cat Williams said, like, oh yeah, and they always got an ugly wife. And I was just like, a light, ugly wife. And I was like, oh my gosh, because she was like one of those people that like, if her hair was blonde, she dyed her eyebrows blonde. So you couldn't even really see that she had eyebrows, but she was white and she had like this pasty kind of makeup on and like a red or whatever lipstick, like very Marilyn Manson feeling. You know what I mean? Like just different. And so, and that's why when they brought her on the screen and I was like, wait, that's Isaiah's wife? Like that, they don't even look compatible. But then I was like, oh, Cat Williams did say that they'll just put you with anybody. So you ain't got to be put you with an ugly wife. And so that's kind of where my brain went as I was watching this, is like, maybe they're compatible, maybe they're not. It was weird things that were happening at the house and people were breaking in and blood, and it was just a little all over the place. So I'm done with saying what it was about him.
I mean, just all the blood just makes me be like, That would be a lot because I know it's probably super graphic, right?
It was, but partially in a comical way. Like, you know how Kill Bill even had it where some of it was just like a little silly.
Like overkill, silly. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. Right. Like somebody, for example, if you're in an Illuminati setting, let's say, right? Well, you know, when it's Eyes Wide Shut, Illuminati kind of thing, people have masks on or something. So like one person had on like a pig head. Well, then all of a sudden the pig head pops off and then you have where blood is just spewing everywhere. And, you know, it's just like over the top.
Yeah.
You know, it's not like a horror movie. It was more like, it was like excessive and like I just was watching it. That part didn't bother me as much as the guy getting hit in the face with the football. Like that part bothered me. And I was like, ooh, that's hard to watch because you could just feel the pain. You could feel that his nose was probably broken. You know, you could feel all those things, you know, whereas with that, I was just like, this is ridiculous. Like, what is happening here? You know, like that's how I took all of that blood and gore. So, but anyway, so that is him. It's on Peacock if you want to watch it. Okay. And that's all I got. So what you got, sis? We got about minutes left.
So my last one is let's go upbeat. Let's go upbeat, guys. All right. So last one is Lyle, Crocodile. Not the book, but the movie.
I didn't know there was a book.
Yeah. Lyle, Crocodile is a kid's book. Oh, so this is the movie based on the kid's book that is also a musical. So I don't like musicals, but this one actually, it didn't seem like a whole bunch of talking being like sung at me. It actually was these songs made sense and fit what needed to be there. And like I said,
the musical.
Yeah, but I mean, look into it. It's a kids' family movie. I watched it with Queen and the kids, so you know it wasn't bad. But it wasn't. A lot of the songs were like songs that we already know. So it was like very superstitious was one of the songs. Yeah, so it's like actual songs that are real songs in here. Plus, they throw in some songs that are written by the man who had done this, who also done what is the one with Hugh Jackman that was the musical that everybody loved?
Oh, Moulin Rouge. No, you're talking about the greatest showman.
Yeah, the greatest showman. So the guy who wrote that and produced and directed all that, he also did Lyle, Crocodile. So if you don't know anything about Lyle, Crocodile from the children's book, so there's a magician and he wants to find an erotic animal. Like he wants to find, exotic animal.
Erotic animal is.
Didn't mean to say that, but he wants to find an exotic animal that he can actually use to put into his magic show because he's gone through a bunch of different, interviews to try to, or shows or talent shows or whatever to try and make sure that he can be successful. He's all about, I want to be a successful magician, like, the greats. And so he always has like a rabbit, he'll pull a rabbit out of a hat, birds flying, doves and everything. But he wants something else. And what he actually does is he goes to it's like a pet store. It's an exotic pet store. He goes there and there is music being played like in the store. So as he goes to the guy and was like, hey, I'm looking for something exotic that I can use for, like he said, I want it to be very weird. And then it's like, okay, all right, well, let me see what I have. So he starts naming off stuff. You have spiders that can dance. He was like, yeah. He was like, well, I got, a bird that can talk. And then he was like, well, I do have this. Let me pull it out for you. And as the guy goes to the back, the magician, whose name is Hector, he actually hears something singing, like he hears somebody singing. And as he goes, he's looking in the back, looking through all these crates. And then it's a little tiny crocodile. He's like this big. So cute.
Okay.
Yeah. But it's Lyle's in there and he's singing, but his back is to like Hector is behind him. So his back is to him. So he's like, all this singing is happening. And then as soon as Lyle turns around, which his name is not Lyle, but as soon as he turns around, then he stops singing. And Hector's like, no, please go on, continue. And then he doesn't want to sing. He doesn't want to do anything. And he was like, no, I'll be your friend. And then on the top of where it says what's in the cage, it says crocodile, but some of the letters are all messed up. So he could only make Lile. So he said, I'm going to call you Lyle. So that's how Lyle gets his name. He buys Lyle. Him and Lyle are out in the streets. He's trying to show him, hey, man, this is where we're going to live at. This is some stuff that I have going on. We're going to be like the great show. It's going to be amazing. Everybody's going to love us. But he has Lyle singing and dancing. But Lyle will only sing and dance for him because that's who he feels comfortable with. So now when this comes to him for showtime, Lyle doesn't want to sing, and now Hector is hurt because of the fact that everybody's laughing at him. He feels like he's a laughing stock, trying to tell everybody, yeah, my crocodile sings, and then his crocodile does not want to sing. Now, he leaves Lyle because he's so mad at Lyle. He leaves Lyle for 18 months without anything inside of an apartment in the attic, and was like, if anybody shows up, just tell them you're stuffed. Like, bro, what are you doing? So he leaves Lyle for 18 months. A family moves in. As the family moves in, the son is they moved from, let's say, like the suburbs where it's quiet and nice, and like all these kids have friends that live in the neighborhood. So now they're in the big city. And the kid is like, did you know there's this many muggings that happens? And you know this many murders that happen? And you know that these are how many deaths happen with this? And you know how many people get kidnapped over here? And the parents are just like, okay, stop watching TV, get off of Reddit. You're going to enjoy yourself. Now, the boys has so it's like 3 or 4 floors is this whole house. It's like a brownstone. So there is somebody who lives downstairs who is a dude who has a cat. The cat is hilarious because the cat has its own feelings, but the cat is supposed to be prissy because the owner of said cat spoils the cat because it's like a white Persian. He says what the name of the cat is, but the cat just walks around and looks. I mean, they give facial expressions to the cat in the movie. So, it's a good semi-animated kids movie. So, but yeah, so he is just mean. He's just like, don't ever feed my cat. My cat rules. This is my cat's house. You all upstairs. I don't want you to be loud. Make sure you know where your trash cans are. Make sure you do this. Make sure you do that. And if not, then my lawyers will be speaking to you. And they're just like, bro, what are you even talking about? We just got the keys. We haven't even been inside yet.
Right.
But the son ends up hearing something upstairs. And once he hears upstairs, he goes and he looks, and inside of this big glass thing is Lyle standing like this with his mouth open. Like he's a stuffed crocodile, but he's not breathing. And then as soon as the boy leaves, and he's like, and then you see all the fog come up on the glass thing. And then it just fast forwards to him actually seeing that the crocodile can move and talk. And not so he doesn't even see the crocodile talk. He can see the crocodile can move, and the crocodile then eats the cat because why? Because the boys ended up giving the cat milk, but the cat's supposed to be lactose intolerant, so you can't feed the cat. So now the cat sees the boy and sees something coming, like thinking that this thing is going to attack the boy. So the cat's going off and running to pounce. And as soon as it pounces, it turns around and Lyle has his mouth open and the cat's like, no. And he swallows the cat. So it's a cute little animation when it comes to that. But it's cute how Lyle actually ends up getting the son to open up and to not be afraid, to be more brave. They have some songs that are all in the mix for that. But the cast, I've seen a few people in this cast Like if you ever watch Fresh Off the Boat,
Yeah.
Yeah, you do have the mother from Fresh Off the Boat, the one who plays Jessica on there. Her name is
Mm-hmm.
Constance Wu.
Yeah.
She is the mother. She plays Miss Prim, and she is the mother to Winslow Fegley, 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 who plays Josh. Now, like I told you, we got Hector, who is the magician, and that is played by Javier Bardem. And then Lyle's voice for all the singing is Shawn Mendes, which I don't even know what Shawn Mendes is doing now. I guess he's just making movies and stuff. And the father is Scoot McNairy, who plays Mr. Prim. So these are the people, the main people in there. You do have Brett Gelman, who plays Mr. Grumps, who is the guy downstairs with the cat, who is just a big butthole. But it is a very cute movie. I mean, I vaguely remember the book. I remember seeing pictures of the book, but I don't really remember like reading the book or anybody reading the book to me. But from what I was told, it is very much like the book. But it's just a cute little family movie about a crocodile becoming one with a family. Okay. Because he was abandoned as a child, as a baby croc.
Right. And I guess so as you were talking about it, I thought of two things. One was, did he, in the process of helping the young boy get over his fear, did the crocodile ever get over his own fear and sing?
He struggles
like you would
with
think
it.
If he's helping the boy.
Yeah, he struggles with it. And the boy's trying to help him, but like,
okay.
Lyle hasn't known anybody. Like, Lyle been struggling. If you know the book, then you know the story.
And he's been in solitary confinement for 18 months.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. So he's like, I don't mess with people. Like,
right.
Why?
Yeah, that makes sense.
All the people that I know have treated me like crap. One locked me up in a cage in the back of a store, and then the other one is trying to exploit me for money. It's like, you're the nicest one to me.
And what it reminded me of is that Looney Tunes. Do you remember with the frog? Hello, my baby. Hello, my darling. Hello, my brown girl. Like, that's exactly what it reminded me of as you were telling it, because it would be the frog and the guy was like, oh my God, we're going to go on vaudeville and we're going to do this and we're going to do that. And and you could just see his thoughts of this frog just singing and dancing and everything. And then he got the frog and then puts it in front of people and it just goes,
yep.
The frog does nothing. Then as soon as he gets at home, it's dancing and singing the entire night while he's trying to sleep. And he's like, I need you to do this in front of people. And it never.
Yeah. That is exactly the same storyline, basically.
It is.
Well, I don't know. Does the frog get left for 18 months and has nothing to eat?
Frog, as far as I know, did not get left. I don't remember how that ended. I'm going to have to now look it up on YouTube so that I can see it. But he would definitely had his top hat and his little stick. And he was, hello, my baby. Hello, my darling. Hello, my ragtime gal. And he was kicking his foot up and everything. It was so cute. And that's exactly what I thought of. So, I'm going to have to look that up and see how it ended. But
absolutely.
Excellent. Excellent. So on that note, everybody, that is the end of Sestra-Tainment. And so we are dealing with more snow. Maybe some of you are as well. And so on that note, hopefully you will be able to stay safe, stay warm, and we'll see you next time. Have a great one.
Bye.
Bye.